Hi everyone, today we are going to talk about Django templates. Django templates are a key part of Django web framework. They help us create dynamic HTML pages for our web applications. So what are templates? Well, think of them as HTML with superpowers or extra superpowers. These superpowers come from Django's template language. One of the most useful features of Django templates is the ability to use tags. Tags are special commands that we can use in our templates. In this video, I'll be focusing on this specific loop called for loop. Sorry, tag called for loop. The for loop is super handy when we want to display a list of items or repeat certain HTML elements. So, Django, like as I said, Django template tags are powerful tools that allow you to inject dynamic content and logic into your HTML templates. Yeah, they basically bridge the gap between your Python views and the HTML templates. The syntax is like you open flower, flower brackets with a modulus, sorry, with a percentage and the tag name. Example for a for loop tag. This is an unordered list. I'm calling for loop for fruits in fruits. I'll be explaining in detail about how the for loop works in a program. So this is the basic syntax. We are starting the for loop and ending it. Explanation. Fruits is a list or a query list passed from the view. The loop creates a list element and the fruit outputs the current elements in the iteration. So for loop basically iterates for the number of items in the views. Yeah. For loop in Django. Yeah, the for loop is used to iterate over a sequence of items in Django template. This is the basic syntax for item in items, and we are displaying the item and ending the for loop. Display list for data, blog posts and user comments. Create dynamic HTML structures like table, rows, list items, etc. Iterate over a query sets from your database. We also use for loops for advanced usage. One of them is the empty tag. The empty tag provides the content to display when the sequence is empty. So this is the example where you can see we are calling the user, we are creating a user from user list and we are printing username there. Sorry, I have there's a big gap, but this is a complete expression and we are making it empty. So like whatever the usernames we are printing there, it's getting what is saying? It's clearing itself. So we are saying no users found. It's an advanced for loop. Similarly, nested for loops. Like we can like a for loop inside a for loop, which is more complex structures. Like common mistakes we do while using for loop is we forget to close the for loop by not mentioning any for. So keep that in mind. Using variables that don't exist in the context. Yeah, you have to make sure that we have to use for loops on those variables and elements which are already mentioned in views. Nesting too many loops leading to poor performance. Yeah. Best practices. Keep your template clean and readable. Use meaningful variables and names. Just don't give any random names. Keep names which make sense, which is related to that program. Leverage for loop variable for advanced control. Use for loop counter. The current iteration is from 1 to 0 index. Like we can actually count the number of iterations in it or the number of elements in it, which starts from 0. True if the first time, yeah, and for loop first. It's true if this is the first time through the loop, and true if this is the last time through for the loop. Thank you. Now I'll be explaining this through an example. Yeah. So this is a simple project I created in Django. It's called lists, where I will be displaying the list of fruits and students, which is actually stored in an dictionary in fruits and this. So yeah. Here we can see that the function definition, we are creating a function called index which takes the request object as an argument. We are preparing two data sets, like two list fruits and students that are defined. This fruits and students are defined, and we are rendering the template. The render function combines the display index display, which is in templates. So we are rendering this template with the context of data that responds an HTTP, which returns an HTTP response. So by looking at this template, we can say that it's like a normal HTML where we are using for loop in it. Yeah, we are creating an unordered list, as you can see, and we are calling this for loop for fruit in fruits. Is used to loop over the fruits and students list passed from the view. Okay, so we are basically using the for template tag to loop over the fruits and students from the view, and the URLs we are just adding the path there, simply importing the path function and use module. Then we'll be define single URL pattern that maps the root URL to an index view. The name index part is optional but useful for referring URL pattern elsewhere in your code. And remember, this is in your apps. We have one more URL which is in our project, which is again like we add admin URL pattern is for Django admin interface, and the root URL pattern includes the URL patterns defined in display app. Super. So let's run this once. We are running it with python -.py run server, and here we go. So as we saw, we can see where's my views now. So this whole list is being iterated here, and it's displayed in an unordered list. But actually this function is being this for loop tag is being used here, so we can iterate on the same list again and again, and same with the ordered list for the students.